Have like a pre-show routine that you do when you're getting ready to go on stage? Is there something that you find yourself doing before every show, either together or
When we
individually?
can, we have like this big old school boombox that
Yeah.
we bring, and if it's like a big show, we just like to jump around and creatively dance and get hyped up to hardcore rap music. That's usually a good start.
Yeah, we pretty much just wild out for a good 5 minutes before we go on to some sort of.
There's like usually some stretching, maybe a little bit of vocal warming up, but for the most part, jumping.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any embarrassing moments on tour or on stage, or that you're like, oh my god, this
Bucky's had
just
some-
didn't
yeah,
happen?
like,
He's had
last
some
week.
awesome ones.
Last week, I think I fell flat on my back. We were playing outside somewhere, and it was raining, and the stage was all slippery, and I managed to not fall for the whole show, and then the very last
Second of the last
song, I just completely fell flat on
was
my
epic.
back, and I was like a turtle on its shell. I just couldn't get up for some reason. It was just the
We
most-
played a show in Halifax once, and it was, I guess, Halifax has the highest bars per capita in, I don't know, in all of Canada, I guess. And the crowd was just really, really drunk and close to the stage, and Bucky was standing up
Oh, yeah,
front, and
that
there's a
too.
monitor right behind his legs, and everyone was going like this, and I guess they hit him, and he got stooled over the monitor, and his legs came up over his head,
Oh my goodness.
I
I guess-
fall a lot.
and like he was low riding his pants, so you could just see his boxers, and his legs were up over his head, and there was this moment where he just didn't know what to do, like, should I get up or should I play dead? It was like a really super awkward moment, but we pulled him back up, and he just kept going.
That's how you do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Is there a song that you guys really enjoy performing on stage, or that the crowd goes wild for?
Yeah.
There's a couple, like, I'd say one of my favorite songs to do is a song we have called Woe Is Me, just because we get the crowd involved and they all scream it back, and
That's what I was about to say.
they go mental. And there's a cool, like, instrumental jam section at the end of it that's not on the record that I really like and we spaz out to.
That's where I fell.
That's where he fell on the wet stage. And also, like, surprisingly, it was like our record that we did that was kind of like a song for the girls. It was like almost like it was like a softer song. It was a Hey Ladies. It was a chick song, if that makes any sense. But that ended up being one of the songs that people go the most nuts for. So that has sort of in turn become one of my favorite songs to play. It's called Your Man, and it just goes, people go nuts. Like people are on people's shoulders, and it's funny because it's like it wasn't, it
Didn't come
Yeah.
from that.
it didn't come from like a rock out like
Right.
wow place, but it turned into that. So I like that.
I like
now.
the moments we have that aren't scripted, like when someone in the crowd does something, or like something happens randomly, like someone throws something, or and then you all of a sudden have like this impromptu dialogue with somebody in the crowd. Or,
Right.
Those are the best moments for me. Stuff you don't play.
Cool. So what's next for you guys, other than touring? Are you guys working on anything?
Yeah.
Totally. We're in the middle of like touring and simultaneously trying to finish the writing and recording of our second album, which I think we're gonna get off tour and just lock ourselves in the studio for a couple months and record the thing. It's written now. And
Can you give us like a sneak peek of what we can expect on the second album?
I just think better songs. I think we're writing better songs. I think it's maturing as artists and as people, not in a bad way.
It's
We're
still
not
going to
going to
be
show
the same
up.
Right.
DW, no.
I'm not going to show up wearing a mustache and
Yeah.
being like super grown up. But
Do you
definitely,
think touring has influenced the second album in a sense of like coming up with songs? Like, were there any experiences that you drew from for songs?
somewhat. I think it's more like along the lines of how we're feeling, and less like I don't want to write songs that are obvious, like we're on tour and we're always at the show. It's just that seems just kind of obvious, and like it's been done a lot because a lot of bands go on tour and it's like, what do we write about besides touring? So I think we try and still bring the same kind of
Touring helps me, like, when I go back in the studio, I can picture what it's going to be like to play the song. So,
That's good.
like, yeah, like when we're writing, like, instrumental sections, or, you know, like, sometimes, like, the best part about playing live sometimes is, like, the gaps, when you just, like, let things breathe. So I think when you go on a tour and you go back in the studio, you realize, like, hey, why don't we just, like, chill out for a bit here and, like, let everyone come down and, you know, work on your build-ups and breakdowns and like those awesome moments in a show.
Like more dynamics.
Yeah,
and stuff.
dynamics.
Because that's a comment that we always got was you're
always at 100.
good, but you have to see them live to get it.
Right.
Like our live show was always the thing that got the most praise. So I guess it's like trying to
Bring some of that.
capture that more in the recordings, and less stop approaching it like, okay, so we have a beat and now we're gonna do you know, loop it, do the verses over that. It's like more dynamics and more like trying to bring those moments in the show.